Hi, welcome to another lesson for your hips and your back to make you feel great. Start by just sitting in a seated position. You can be on a mat, a blanket, you can even be on a bed or anywhere you like. Cross your legs if it's comfortable, or cross them to the point where they are comfortable. And just take a moment to notice how you're seated on the floor. Noticing a sense of weight over your pelvis and where that is. Can you locate your sitting bones, those pointy outy things on the right and left, knobby things that we sit on? Maybe you can't find the sitting bones. Notice the shape of your back in this position. Notice how supported your back feels in this position. And notice which leg opens up a little bit more to the side. And which leg did you choose to put in front? Notice that. And does that leg feel more comfortable in this position in front than the other would? When you're ready, we're going to put both hands on the floor, staying in a cross-legged position. And we're just going to slide both hands on the floor and back, staying in a cross-legged position. And notice as you do this, the shape that your body makes. So you're sliding both hands on the floor, slide them forward and back. And see how comfortably you can slide your two arms like this. If you've done the other lesson like this, this is the second part. Sliding the hands, keeping the full support of the palms on the ground and just seeing how comfortably you can slide your two arms. Notice where the movement takes place. And notice the change in the shape of your back as you slide the arms. The next time you come back up, change over the legs. So now you have your other leg in front. And we'll try sliding the arms in this position. And notice this changes your sitting situation. So this movement might be different with the other leg in front. So you notice. Now you're sliding your two arms in a situation that may have changed something. Notice if it makes a difference which way the legs are crossed. And how your back is changing its shape in this orientation with the other leg in front. Pause that. And now put the legs so that the left leg is closer to you, to the pelvis, and the right leg is further away. So we're going to be in a side sitting position and just sitting like this. So my left foot is close to my right knee and my right foot is behind the pelvis. Just sit in this position for a moment and see how comfortable you are. So it's going to be very important in this lesson to just do what you can do easily. I'll give you prompts and suggest things at times that you bring the legs into a lotus position. But if it doesn't feel comfortable, if you want to improve but the flexibility isn't quite there yet, there might be limits, come back to this lesson and leave out the parts that are impossible for now. So I'm going to suggest things that are hard to figure out. And all you have to do is take your time to explore, play, and find that you'll be able to sneak your way into the movements. So now put your two hands on the floor in this position so you can lean on palms. You can also lean on fists if you're having trouble with palms. So again, you're in this side sitting position and you're leaning both hands forward and the arms and the body follow. And just notice what shape the back makes as you do this, knowing you don't have to go very far. Knowing that if you watch me, I've done this lesson before, so I know what I'm doing, and I've adapted to the flexibility. It takes some time and many times of doing these lessons. So as you do this, I want you to feel that it's going to start to bring your weight onto your knees. So if you're going forward, go ahead and let the weight come onto your knees and back, using both hands. Feel how the weight comes onto your knees You might have no idea about how to do this at all. That's okay. So just position your arms where they're in a good position to bear your weight, to pick up your pelvis, if it's possible. You push your belly forward and bring your pelvis away from the floor in such a way that it makes it easier. So think about arms go out, and then I'm going to push my belly forward, and I'm going to lift my pelvis. So that helps too. Arms, belly, pelvis. See if that helps to bring your pelvis off the floor so the weight comes away from your knees. It shouldn't be directly on your knees. And it might be that you're not comfortable bringing your pelvis away from the floor, and that's okay too. You just see what you can do. And you'll notice in this situation, the whole front of you will lengthen, the belly will drop. Notice that as you do the movement. Seeing what you can do. Belly coming forward, lengthening the front. Weight comes a little bit onto the knees and lower legs, and that's it. And come back. And now change the position of the legs so the right leg is in front. And do the same thing a few times. So we're going to do the same movement of just arms reaching, our hands on the floor. Arms go out, and just notice what the body does. Now you have your right leg in front so that the right foot is in front of the left knee and the left foot is back here behind. And in this position, you're reaching forward with your hands, keeping the palms on the floor. Just seeing what you can do in this position. And as you do this, let your whole back become involved. And when you feel ready, lift your pelvis. If it feels accessible on the side, if it feels easy. And do what you can do easily. And notice where the arms are when you lift the pelvis. Are they closer to you? Or are they further from you? It's going to be really important where the arms are. You want to spread the movement through the whole back as you do this. Be alert for that if you feel the movement stopping somewhere, or if you feel discomfort. Don't continue, just pause. Shift your attention to another place. Find out if something else can start to move and take on some of the work. Never settle for pain. And then come to rest on your back if you're comfortable. You can always rest seated, however you feel good, but rest on your back if you can, just for a moment. And anytime you feel discomfort in this lesson, especially in your lower back, that's a sign that you're not spreading the movement out through your whole back. That would be the sign, so be aware of that. If you feel the movement stopping somewhere or you start to feel discomfort, it's never a good idea to continue until you can feel the whole back working with you. We don't want to go into Lotus without the whole body being prepared. Especially in this lesson, keep shifting your mind to other places if you're finding a place that won't work. See what can take on more of the work, see what can do less. And now on your back, go ahead and cross your legs. So we've done this in the other lesson. So we're going to cross our legs in any configuration and just start to take them right and left. Any way of crossing is fine. You can have right over left or left over right. And we're just taking the knees, this group of knees, a little right and a little left. Just feeling how the knees move and sway right and left. Continue doing that with whichever leg is on top. But don't let the knees hang too far to the sides unnecessarily. Just stay within a range of comfort. And the next time you come back, pause that. Bring the feet to standing where they're in a comfortable place. Then bring the feet together and let the knees drop out to the side in this way. And just notice this position here. And if you're not comfortable, you can always get pillows for underneath of your knees. Any way you need to be comfortable here, go ahead and set yourself up. So from that position where you're resting in that way, Just rest for a moment and sense and feel your contact. And then do a movement where you first take one knee to the floor and then the other knee. So the knees alternate. One goes to the floor and then the other. And just notice how that is in your pelvis and your back. Keeping the same amount of space between the knees as there was to begin with. So you're not decreasing that amount of space, but you're picking up one knee and then the other knee on your back. So the legs are like a package, both knees out to the side. And you're moving the legs and pelvis as though they're one piece, one thing. So that the relationship between the right knee and left knee, again, it doesn't change. They don't come closer together or go further apart. As the right knee is coming down to the floor, the left knee is coming up and away. And use the pelvis to move one knee toward the floor and then the other. Because then you can actually use the taking of one knee to the floor to lift the other. If you use your pelvis, you can use the taking of the knee to the floor. That just automatically lifts the other side. I don't have to do anything if my pelvis is involved. So you can always put your pelvis, hand on pelvis, and feel, is it involved? Is it taking the knee out for me? And then when I go to the other side, it's the same thing happening. And just feeling that movement in your pelvis now. You don't have to have hands, but you can. It's really important to take a minute to make sense of this movement, to find out how you get your back involved. And then go ahead and take, now press down one knee and lift up that other knee, come all the way to the side. And then go back out and do the same thing to the other side. Go all the way from side to side. And just feel this movement going side to side now. Using the pelvis even more now. Continue making the movement. And then come to rest. Resting on your back if you're comfortable, or anywhere you feel comfortable. And then come back to the same position that you were in before, except now we're going to cross the legs on the back. So now you've got crossed legs. Maybe you're doing a pattern that's comfortable. Again, you can use pillows for knees if you need. And now take one knee to the floor and then the other. It's going to be a much smaller movement. You'll feel that the pelvis can go, but that it's much smaller with the legs crossed. Notice which side you started with and feel that movement. One knee comes to the floor, and then the other knee comes to the floor. Maybe as one knee comes to the floor, it helps the other to lift. Figure out how your back is involved here. That will help. You should be able to rest your whole leg to one side and the whole leg to the other side. So change over which leg is in front and continue and see if you can do it in that way, resting the whole leg on one side and the whole leg on the other side. And work, see if you can do less. There we go. So by doing less, lifting the knees a little bit more, perhaps if I lift one knee a little more, it's easier to get that leg on the floor. So maybe lifting the knees even more will help. Continue making that movement with the other leg in front now. And just see how easily your pelvis is turning from side to side. And then come to rest. Rest on your back if it's comfortable. So in this lesson, as you've noticed, the legs are in a cross-legged position. So for people that have tightness in the hip joints, you don't want to stretch to the end of your limit. That's what causes the tension in the first place. It's a yoga class you took or something you did where you stretched too far or moved too fast. And we're reversing that damage now. So you want to do less than you can, especially if you have trouble in the hips. Interestingly enough, the same thing is true for flexible people as well. You only want to do what you can do because flexible people are used to going above and beyond and stretching beyond their limits. So you want to make sure that you stay within a comfortable range too, because your idea of what your limit is might not be accurate. And I say that as a former and maybe sometimes continuous, overly flexible, hypermobile person. So just noticing. Do less in each lesson, no matter what background you have, no matter your age. None of that matters. It's the same for everyone. And some people can't have the legs like this at all and have both knees touch the ground. So that'll pull on your ligaments. And if that's the case, you just want to go to your full range and then back it up a little bit from there. So go to your full range and then come back. And then that is how far you need to go. Okay, so once more, you're on your back. You're going to cross the legs again, but you're going to put the left knee one closer to your buttock than the right one. Got a dog here. All right, so the left knee is closer than the right one to your buttock. And you're going to put your right hand on the floor above your shoulder so that the fingers are pointing, down towards the feet. So, as if you wanted to do a bridge. So, move. Again, your left leg is crossed closer to your pelvis. You're going to take your right hand and you're going to place it above you in a bridge position. If you can get your hand flat on the floor, that's great. So we're taking the hand up. Right hand comes to a bridge position like this. So it's supported, elbows toward the ceiling, palms on the floor, and my fingertips are facing my shoulder. You can rotate them some, but they're better off facing the shoulder. So from this position, pause here, make sure you're comfortable, make sure the fingers are pointing down towards your shoulder. It's as though one hand is going to do a bridge, and we're going to make a very small movement. Go ahead and put your other hand on your elbow first, and let's move the elbow a little bit right and left or left and right. So we're just in this cross-legged position on the back. Hand is in this position as though we're going to do a bridge. And we're just taking the elbow a little bit in one direction and a little bit in the other. Feeling the movement of the elbow only. Breathing comfortably. Just taking the elbow right and left with the other hand. And noticing that sensation. And see if you can feel that the shoulder is increasing its connection with the floor as you move the elbow. And now we're going to take the elbow up so that the whole shoulder comes away from the floor. So we're taking the elbow up so the shoulder comes away from the floor. So as I move my elbow up, my shoulder comes away. Let's see if you can do that movement. Elbow goes up, shoulder comes away. Guide the elbow up, and the shoulder comes away. Continue to work on that movement. The shoulder is lightening its contact with the floor. And the other shoulder is increasing its contact with the floor. So notice that. And now as you do this movement of taking the elbow up, bring the right knee toward the floor at the same time. So we're going to try lifting the shoulder and bringing the right knee down. It may not happen together. It might be impossible, but give it a shot. Right knee comes out as you lift the right shoulder. As you take the elbow up, remember to take the elbow up with your left hand. And the right knee goes out as you lift your right shoulder off the ground. Continue to do this movement as we continue to make it more complicated, but then more valuable. Feeling the connection. Elbow goes up, shoulder lifts, right knee goes toward the floor at the same time. It's not an easy movement. Just to reassure you, it's not meant to be easy. It's just meant to be, let's try to figure it out. So just do what's possible and just do what's easy. If you don't understand the movement or you start to hold your breath or struggle, that won't help. You can always review watching me do the movements. You can play and figure it out. But just take the elbow up, feeling that the right side gets long, and as the right side gets long, it arches away from the floor a little bit, helping you bring your right knee to the floor. So again, I'm taking my elbow in this position with my hand. As I lengthen the elbow, I'm going to start there. That lifts the shoulder. That's pulling me in a position where I can now take the right knee out because I have the room. But it's only because I lengthened that elbow and picked up the shoulder that made it easy enough to then to have the right knee come out. So see if you can find that. And then rest on your back. And it doesn't matter if you got that last one or not. If you got pieces of it, that's okay too. Don't worry about it. None of it's mandatory. These are just lessons where you don't have to master every step, but there's going to be a natural progression whether you do or you don't. So notice now a difference in how you lie on your two sides. And then bring your legs from lying down into cross-legged again. This time, the right foot's going to be closer to the pelvis than the left. And from here, we're going to take our right hand up. And so same idea. No, left hand, sorry. What did we do before? We're going to take our other hand up in that position like we're going to go into bridge. Okay, so left arm is up, right foot is closer to the body. We're taking hold of our left elbow with our right hand. Let's start by moving the elbow a little left and right. And just noticing the movement on this side and how it's different than it was on the other side. And feeling the pressure change over your hand and anything else that moves. And then start to take the elbow a little bit up. Elbow comes up, shoulder lifts maybe. It's a little bit difficult in this position, so don't push anything or force anything. But remember what I said earlier about the whole back being involved. How can your whole back help the elbow go a little bit forward and also pull your shoulder? So keep playing around with that movement. And maybe make it even smaller. Maybe you use pillows and stick them under your knees if you feel uncomfortable. Taking the elbow, let's take it up and down just to feel the movement of the shoulder lightening its contact and increasing its contact. So we're going to take it both up and down. When you take it down, the shoulder gets heavier. When the elbow goes up, it gets lighter. So just feel the difference here. Up and down, shoulder gets heavier, and then the shoulder gets lighter, and you take the elbow up and down. And just feel that movement for a moment. See if on this side you can feel the logic of these two movements of the elbow going up and the elbow going down. And then as the elbow goes up, we're going to take, in this cross-legged position, we're going to take the left knee to the floor a little more. So here we're going to do the knee instead of the legs. So we're going to lift the elbow, start to pull up under the shoulder and press the left knee and then let that go. That's going to be a little difficult. So we're taking the elbow up, the shoulder starts to lift. My whole back is involved and therefore my leg should be able to come closer to the ground. So keep trying that. And just notice how to make it easier every time. And what parts of you are resisting and what parts of you are going along with the movement. Again, this is very difficult. So just notice how you're doing and don't worry about getting it right. And don't fix your head. The head and the chest will need to move. And the chest will need to shift to the left to help the left knee go down. So again, you're in this position. So again, the head is moving and your chest is going to have to shift left, and that helps the knee go down. So if I pull my shoulder up, I shift my chest to the left, my knee goes down really easily. Then I come back. Again, that's pulling the elbow, shoulders lifting, shifting the chest, leg goes down. It doesn't have to be such a big movement. I just want you to be able to see it. So shifting your chest and noticing how that does as you continue. Continue the movement as long as it feels comfortable, and then come to rest and just notice how you lie down now as you rest. And now come to either have the legs in standing or not, but we're going to place the two arms above us in such a way that we're going to take turns lengthening one arm and then the other. So just lengthen one arm and then the other. And just notice how you do this. You can also keep your body on the floor. Just notice how you lengthen one arm and the other, knowing there's no right way to do it. Go slow if you can. You don't want to strain. Go gently. And you want to feel a connection between the two. And now pause with the arms and bring the legs into a cross-legged position, in this position with the arms up. So now when you lengthen your arms, take both knees to the floor. So we're going to lengthen the arms and take both knees to the floor. Lengthening the arms, taking both knees. Now I'm lengthening both of my arms and taking my knees. And if you notice something is happening in my back, and again, you want to make sure this is easy, so I'm going to try switching my cross just to make sure. Lengthening and taking the knees to the floor, reaching up and pulling the knees down. It's like you're elongating all of you. So do that movement a couple more times. Feeling how you get long from knees to fingertips. Continue to breathe and make this as easy as possible. And it's not important how far you go. You just want to connect those two movements and feel, oh, they're linked, they're connected. That's it. The arms get longer. The legs get longer, essentially. And that happens by the middle of our body taking action. So what's happening in the middle of you for this to take place? Is it spread through your whole torso? Feel that the back will lighten as you reach with the knees and the arms. The back gets lighter. It lightens its contact with the floor. Make sure it's not just in your low back, but it spreads into your upper back as well. So as you lengthen, make sure it's not just your lower back, but your whole back is coming off of the floor. And then change over your legs and do the same thing. The knees come down as you reach. You want your whole back coming away from the floor, not just the lower back. The knees are pressing, the arms are reaching, and my whole back is coming away from the floor as I reach and then coming back as I let go. So now with the opposite cross, doing the same movement. You can move 1/8 of an inch. It's not important you go far. You just want to feel the connection. You might feel that your back is different in this position with the legs crossed over in a different way. And you might feel less contact temporarily on one side or the other. Pause for a moment in this position and rest and just breathe. Take a breath or two. Bring the arms down, uncross the legs, and come up to seated. Take your time to come all the way to seated. We're gonna come to cross-legged, but for those of you who are comfortable, I want you to place your left foot somewhere on your right leg. That's only if you're comfortable. So we're just starting to go in the direction of putting the left foot on the right leg just to see how it is. Anyone who's not comfortable, stick to what you were doing before, or you had both legs crossed. So we're gonna put both hands behind us on the floor. And now the same thing as we did before, we're gonna press down our knees while we push into our hands. You might do this on the inhale or the exhale, but press into the hands and push down the knees and then let go of the pressing. You might notice your whole body is involved here, like you're doing a workout. Continue to do this movement. You can always use fists behind you if that's more comfortable. See if it makes more sense doing it in this position than it did on the floor when you were lying down. And then pause. And let's see if you can move the left foot now a little bit further toward the hip. Maybe you started on the knee and you move up a little bit. Maybe you're mid and you're moving closer to your thigh. So you're just moving that foot just a little bit more. And just see where you're comfortable. And again, we're gonna do the same thing, pushing the knees to the floor by pushing into the arms at the same time. Continue this movement of pressing, elongating the front of your body. Shoulders go back. Feel how long your neck gets. Knees go to the floor as you press into the hands. Notice how this movement of taking the pelvis forward spreads through the whole back. The whole back is involved here. And pause when you come back, rest in a seated. You can take that leg down and just sit in any seated position that's comfortable. And when you're ready, we'll take now our right foot. If it's comfortable, we'll put it on that left thigh. You can put it close to your knee or on your knee if you want. Wherever you can get it that feels comfortable to begin, just begin there. And now we'll do the exact same thing. Hands go behind. We press the knees to the floor and come back. As you press the knees to the floor, the pelvis moves forward. The whole back arches, the whole back. And you come back. Both knees press to the floor. Continue to do that in this configuration now with the other leg. And how is it different with this leg on top than it was with the other? How is the smoothness overall? Pause and have a minute and move the right foot up further as long as it's comfortable and come back to this movement once again. Same movement, just noticing. The whole back is involved as you push into your hands behind you and arch. Just doing a few movements. Feel how the hips are opening up in front. The hips are starting to open up in front. You might even feel that you could start to lift your pelvis. You don't have to, but that will help you feel how the hips start to open in front. There's a relationship here between the pelvis and the hip joints, a feeling of opening up here. Rest and pause in seated position as long as you're comfortable, just finding something restful. Some lessons we do very small movements or we have more imagined movements, but this is a whole body movement to prep you for yoga and just to feel great. So just notice that it's a bit more challenging as we explore the full range of movements. So we're learning to stay within our own limits, especially in this lesson, because otherwise we'll hurt ourselves with the difficult movements. If we're not familiar with those difficult movements and we go into them too quickly, we open ourselves up to not feeling comfortable. But if we go into them slowly, we go into possibility and comfort. Come back one more time to a cross-legged position. Put your left foot wherever it's interesting to you on the right leg. Maybe it's the lower right leg, maybe it's the upper right leg, whatever feels good to you. And just sit here in a cross-legged position for a moment. And again, you're gonna come, so your palms are in the ground behind you, and tilt your pelvis a little bit forward, same thing as we were doing before. So continue that movement. And see if you can bring your knees all the way to the floor. So the legs are crossed, but you're pushing to try to bring your knees all the way to the floor and back, really opening up your pelvis. So going all the way now, tilting your pelvis forward. And let your head go backwards with the movement. Pelvis goes forward, head goes backwards each time. As you come onto the knees, as the pelvis goes forward, the head goes backward. The head has to go backward to help, to allow it to be easy. Let it hang backwards when it goes backwards. It's safe, but never goes further than what feels safe to you, of course. So you'll feel that the movement of the head going back affects the ease of the overall movement. When you come back, pause for a moment and rest either in seated or on the back. Taking a moment to breathe and just pause from this movement that was a little bit more challenging. Now you rest for as long as you'd like. When and if you're ready, we're going to take the right leg on the thigh of the left now, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're on our hands and we're pushing, and the knees are coming to the floor, and you start to lift your pelvis, letting your head hang backwards. And then for a moment, try coming down to elbows and doing it that way. Knees come down, lift your pelvis, head hangs back. Trying it now on elbows. So you're on your elbows and forearms and you're pressing back. Feeling the whole back is involved. And then when you're ready, come back to having your hands behind you and come back to doing this in seated. And now pause and seated and just rest there for a moment. And actually, let's go ahead and take the head a little bit forward and round the back. And then we'll start to extend and look up, forward to round. Keep doing your cat-cow and seated for a moment in whatever cross-legged or lotus position you have. And we're just kind of re-engaging some stuff in the back and helping to let go of what we've been working. So cat-cow for a moment. And then pause that and bring in lotus position, bring your hands to either side of you and a little bit in front, a demo to the side. And then start to make a movement where you're coming to the knees and you're starting to drop your head so that it could come down to the floor. So let your head start to fall first. Your head is going to fall. As your head falls, let it start to pick up your pelvis and come back. You may be able to get the top of your head to the floor. You might not, but just notice if you can get to the top of your head and back. As you lift your pelvis, coming onto your knees and staying in this lotus position. Breathing comfortably. As you drop the head, the top of the head comes to the floor, but you might not reach the floor. And the next time you come to that position, rest completely on your knees. So make sure that you're just on your knees. Feel the weight on your head and come back and do that a couple of times, coming onto your knees in that way. Even if the head doesn't totally touch the ground, you want to start to bring the weight onto the knees. Rocking yourself forward, dropping the head, shifting the weight. Change over the legs the next time you're up and continue the same movement, dropping the head to the ground, coming onto the knees, and coming back. And continue doing that. Just see how you can start to lighten your pelvis so that each time you do this, it's lighter and easier to move up. Lighter and lighter pelvis, breathing easily, shifting. Pause that and come to seated, sitting however you would like to sit, and just notice how you're sitting now. Go ahead and put your 2 hands on the floor here and just start to reach forward. And notice how this is now. We did this in the beginning, the reaching forward of the hands in a cross-legged position. You might be on a half lotus, you might just be cross-legged, it's up to you. Notice that this movement is not easier since the beginning, like your back and stomach and head, everything just knows what to do. Let's try switching over the legs and seeing if that's true on the other side. And what's true for me may not be true for you, but I would say for the 99.9% general public, that we know the way the brain and nervous system works. And in all of those years of study that I did and all of the years that everyone else above me studied, we figured out the best way to work and hack the nervous system in the brain. And this is it. So this was one of the more challenging lessons today. Pause and sit and seated and see how you feel. Now this lesson, if it was possible for you, even in some respects, you're going to be so much more flexible naturally without having to push, strain, or hurt yourself in any way. So you're just going to find the freedom of being flexible. And I would encourage you, maybe a couple hours after this lesson, to try something flexible. Maybe a pigeon pose, or maybe you just have your legs out as far as they can go. And you just notice, is that easier? Or take a walk and see if that feels easier to you. This lesson should integrate for days and help you feel amazing for weeks and longer. So I hope it helped. Just notice how you feel, and if you'd like to, just pay attention to your breathing for a moment. Feeling how you were just moving with your whole self and how that felt. Becoming aware of all the relationships that you explored in this lesson that are now integrated, downloaded to you. This awareness is now yours. It is now your direct experience, and it's going to lead to your momentum and to your new discoveries and all of the amazing things you create. Have a wonderful day.